please give a warm Cass County welcome to Congressman Zach Nunn.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary. Well, I'm going to look forward to calling you Mr. Secretary. Having a boy from Iowa in any of those roles is really important. Having somebody who has spent their entire life in the service of rural America, it's a huge credit. It's a reflection of what this entire room's about. Guys, we have so many people who have made this possible today. I don't think we could even start, though, without thanking Christina. Look, Vision Atlantic is truly a model for the entire state. And if anything, it is a best practice that we want to continue to share on with communities across the U.S. Rural Iowa is really the heart of the heartland. And at the center of that, you have to have the type of leaders who have made such an incredible priority. I got the opportunity to drive over with Christina here, and just hearing about her commitment generationally to this community, to what she has done as a volunteer, as a leader, as a mom, as a rock star, as a nonprofit, so much of what you do is emblematic of everybody else who's in this room. So I want to say thank you very much for allowing us to join you right here in Cass County today. But really, this is a reflection of a lot of hard work by you and your incredible team. So I think thank you is due. So sorry. Thank you. Glenn, your work at USDA, I think, is one of the things that we are trying to champion across the country right now. We are helping to lead not just on investments with CPFs like this, but also setting some of the legislation we'll be bringing up this week on rural housing, on being able to have high-speed internet access to rural America, whether it's in your home or on your tractor. Making sure that we're taking care of healthcare in communities like this, that no part of America should be left behind. Simply because we have, some really big cities that need help is not a reason to forget about the rest of America that also needs investment. And these things can be done together and complementary. I think having you at USDA, particularly on the rural side, focusing and prioritizing, helps us all. So let me get into some of the real pillars of where we are here. It couldn't happen without all the work that the Charles Lincoln Foundation has done. And I want to particularly recognize a couple of leaders who have joined with the Lincoln Foundation. Brett Allen. Brett, you have been just a huge partner along with First and Whitney Bank and Trust. This is what it looks like when a community takes leadership. The money that we can provide from the feds is ultimately tax dollars that come from communities like this. But the reality is, without strong local leadership, these things can't get off the ground. So I'd like to begin by saying, for our local elected leaders, if you could stand up in the room here, our senator, our representative of the state house, our county supervisors, if you would all stand on this front. This is the front line of what our elected officials are doing at the hometown front. Guys, thank you very much for your leadership on this. Remain standing, because it's not just our elected leaders, it's the members who have stood up. If you're part of the Vision Atlantic team, if you have been on the board, if you've served or volunteered, please also stand up. I want you to see just the range of individuals who are involved. Don't be shy. You've been doing all the work. If you've been one of the founders who has helped make an investment in this, whether it's $1 or $2.5 million, stand up. Show what this community is doing for this. It is huge. And importantly, if you are one of the parents, if you are one of the grandparents who have a kiddo who's going to be benefited by this, either directly or in the futures to come, please stand up. I want you to see that everybody in this room has a role in making a future here in Atlantic. Thank you very much for what you're doing. We appreciate it. All right. Now, we've got a lot of fun things to do today, so I'm going to keep the politician speeches short and just say, we've got a lot of people to thank. Let's talk about how we got here. First and foremost, $2.5 million from community project fundings are key. I think we all know this. Congress does not work well, and I get a front row seat to it every day that I fly out there. But the reality is there are a lot of good people who do want to do good things for their hometown communities. Look, there's 400 plus members of Congress, and it's like a large, high school. There's going to be the people who actually get work done, and there's going to be a few knuckleheads out there who are probably going to be in the police blotter the next morning. Same is true for Congress. The reality is we have worked really hard in a bipartisan way to say there are priorities back home that we want to make sure get achieved. $2.5 million for Vision Atlantic to be able to help with this is something that you have to be able to stand in front of an appropriations board and say, we're asking money from every member of America to help make investments in our future. And you need look no further than a project like this to see how value add that is. So let's talk about what it does. The $2.5 million community facility grant through USDA's rural development is the result of real partnership. Atlantic and Cass County have designated as childcare deserts, meaning that too many families have to make a very painful choice right now of whether they get to stay in the hometown that's helped raise them and raise the next generation, or have to make a decision on whether they can only be successful if they go to Des Moines or Omaha. And it shouldn't have to be like that. By being able to build a facility like this, we're giving growth to the next generation of kids from Atlantic and Cass, but we're giving growth to the next generation of Iowans who want to keep rural America healthy. The contributing factors that help families decide to move elsewhere isn't just whether their kids can be successful now, but whether they can continue to have a job, whether they can be part of this community marching forward. The new Child Development Center changes that we're seeing, when operational, as was noted, will serve up to 300 kiddos. And that's incredible for a community of this size to have a resource like this. But equally important, it means 100 jobs are going to stay right here in our hometown communities. Jobs that are meaningful, jobs that allow parents to be part of this, and jobs that allow generational success to be something that doesn't expire at the end of this decade. It also means that this isn't just a one-off project, but now we're building a power center right here of great talent in rural America that can help power the future for our nation. And it shouldn't be overlooked, particularly for our county supervisors, that this is also a great source of tax revenue that stays in the county. It's not bleeding off to Polk. It's not going to Omaha, but we're having it right here and be successful. With our investment of $2.5 million, we're going to return $48 million in economic growth and tax revenue for this community alone. Think of that. $50 million staying right here local that helps grow everything we do that can be successful. So in closing, this is about the kids. We want this to be successful. But the follow-on effect is this is about what the future of rural Iowa looks like, and Atlantic is helping lead the charge for what can be something that sustains us well beyond first, second, third grade kiddos or preschool, but into first, second, third generations that can be successful right here when you call Atlantic home. Guys, thank you so much for everything that you've done to make this happen. I'm really excited about what is going to come as a result of this. And thank you again for the Length team for all that you've done to make this a reality. When you look in the back there at the visions of where this is going, there's a lot of hard work that went into it. But there's also a lot of folks who are going to be able to utilize this well into the future. This is a reflection of you. Thanks for letting me be part of it.